We've all been there. You wake up with a tickle in your throat, you clear your throat hoping it will go away, but it doesn't. That sticky, gooey feeling persists. It's like something is clinging to the back of your throat. Many suffer in silence, assuming it's minor. They pop cough drops, try to ignore it. But a phlegmy throat is not to be ignored. It's your body trying to tell you something. That persistent feeling of something stuck in your throat isn't just uncomfortable. It can impact your daily life. It affects your voice, making it raspy and unclear. It disrupts your sleep, leaving you feeling tired and drained. And let's be honest, constantly clearing your throat in public can be embarrassing. Beyond the immediate discomfort and social awkwardness, a perpetually phlegmy throat can be a sign of something more serious. It could be a symptom of an underlying condition that needs to be addressed. So, before you reach for yet another cough drop, consider what your body might be trying to tell you. Before we dive into what causes a phlegmy throat, it's essential to understand why we have mucus in the first place. While it might seem like a nuisance, mucus is actually one of your body's most important defense mechanisms. This sticky substance acts as a protective shield, lining your respiratory system from your nose to your throat and down into your lungs. Think of mucus like a microscopic net, constantly trapping unwanted invaders like dust, bacteria, viruses, and allergens. It prevents these irritants from reaching your delicate lungs, acting as the first line of defense against infection and illness. Without mucus, we would be far more susceptible to respiratory problems. So, while it might not be the most glamorous bodily function, mucus production is a vital part of keeping you healthy. In a perfect world, our bodies would produce just the right amount of mucus, enough to keep us protected, but not so much that it becomes a problem. This production is carefully regulated by your immune system, which constantly assesses the environment and adjusts mucus production accordingly. When you're healthy and everything is functioning correctly, you probably don't even notice your mucus. However, certain triggers can disrupt this delicate balance, causing your body to overproduce mucus. When this happens, the mucus can become thicker and more noticeable, leading to that all-too-familiar phlegmy feeling in your throat. Understanding these triggers is key to finding lasting relief from a constantly phlegmy throat. While mucus is our friend, it can become a foe when production goes into overdrive. This excess mucus can lead to that uncomfortable feeling of constantly needing to clear your throat, making you feel self-conscious and disrupting your daily life. But it's not just the discomfort. Excessive mucus can also create a breeding ground for bacteria. When mucus sits in your throat, it creates a warm, moist environment where bacteria can thrive. This can potentially lead to infections and further exacerbate your phlegmy throat issues. Therefore, it's crucial to address the root cause of your overproduction rather than just trying to manage the symptoms. Let's address the elephant in the room, or rather the carton of milk in the fridge. For years, we've been told that dairy products increase mucus production. But is there any truth to this age-old belief? Dairy can make mucus feel thicker, but it doesn't increase the amount your body produces. Casein in dairy binds with saliva, creating a thick sensation. Consult your doctor if you suspect dairy issues. Another common misconception is attributing a phlegmy throat solely to the common cold. Persistent phlegmy throat might indicate something else is going on. Colds are caused by viruses that irritate your respiratory system. This is your body's way of expelling the virus. Usually, mucus production clears up as your body fights the infection. Persistent mucus might be due to allergies, irritants, or chronic conditions. The truth is, the causes of a constantly phlegmy throat are often more complex than we realize. It's not just about that glass of milk or that lingering cold. It's about understanding the intricate workings of your body and identifying the specific triggers that are throwing your mucus production out of whack. Instead of relying on quick fixes or accepting a phlegmy throat as a fact of life, we need to dig deeper. We need to look beyond the surface-level explanations and explore the often overlooked culprits that are silently contributing to our discomfort. From the silent reflux that creeps up on you at night to the invisible allergens lurking in your home, we will expose the real culprits behind your constant phlegm. In the following sections, we will embark on a journey to uncover these hidden causes. One of the most common yet often overlooked culprits behind a constantly phlegmy throat is acid reflux, also known as gastroesophageal reflux disease, GERD. This condition occurs when stomach acid flows back up into the esophagus, the tube that connects your mouth to your stomach. While we often associate acid reflux with heartburn, many people experience silent reflux, where the acid backs up without causing noticeable heartburn. Instead, they experience a persistent cough, hoarseness, and yes, you guessed it, a phlegmy throat. When stomach acid comes into contact with the delicate lining of your throat, it causes irritation and inflammation. This triggers your body's natural defense mechanism to kick in, producing more mucus in an attempt to protect the irritated tissues. The result, that stubborn phlegm that just won't quit. Our immune systems are remarkable defenders, constantly vigilant against potential threats. However, sometimes they can overreact to harmless substances like pollen, dust mites, pet dander, or mold, triggering an allergic reaction. These reactions can manifest in various ways, and a phlegmy throat is a common symptom. When you have an allergy, your body releases histamine and other chemicals to fight off the perceived invader. This triggers a cascade of reactions, including inflammation in the nasal passages and sinuses, leading to increased mucus production. This mucus can then drip down the back of your throat, causing that familiar, sticky, phlegmy sensation. If you notice that your phlegmy throat tends to flare up during certain times of the year, such as spring or fall, allergies might be the culprit. Postnasal drip occurs when the glands in your nose and throat produce excess mucus, which, instead of draining properly, drips down the back of your throat. This constant drip can be incredibly irritating, triggering the urge to clear your throat repeatedly. It can also lead to a feeling of fullness in the back of your throat and even affect your voice, making it sound raspy or hoarse. Several factors can contribute to postnasal drip, including allergies, infections, dry air, and even certain medications. In some cases, it might be a symptom of an underlying condition like a deviated septum or nasal polyps. Identifying the root cause of postnasal drip is essential for finding effective relief. While over-the-counter decongestants can provide temporary relief, addressing the underlying trigger is crucial for long-term management. While we've explored some of the common medical conditions that can contribute to a constantly phlegmy throat, it's important to acknowledge the significant role that diet and lifestyle play in either exacerbating or alleviating this issue. Certain foods and beverages can irritate the esophagus, triggering acid reflux and increasing mucus production. These include spicy foods, acidic fruits and juices, fatty and fried foods, caffeine and alcohol. On the other hand, staying adequately hydrated can help thin the mucus, making it easier to clear. Drinking plenty of water throughout the day can help keep your throat lubricated and reduce the sticky feeling associated with excess mucus. Additionally, managing stress levels and getting enough sleep are crucial for a healthy immune system. While many cases of a phlegmy throat can be managed with lifestyle changes and over-the-counter remedies, it's essential to recognize when it's time to seek professional medical advice. If your symptoms are persistent, severe, or accompanied by other concerning symptoms like difficulty breathing, chest pain, fever, or blood in your mucus, it's crucial to consult with a healthcare professional promptly. A healthcare professional can help determine the underlying cause of your phlegmy throat and recommend the most appropriate course of treatment. This might involve medications, allergy testing, or further investigations to rule out any serious conditions. Remember that burning sensation you get in your chest after a particularly spicy meal? That's heartburn, a telltale sign of acid reflux. But what many people don't realize is that acid reflux can manifest in less obvious ways, with a constantly phlegmy throat being a prime example. When stomach acid flows back up into your esophagus, it doesn't always announce itself with a fiery blaze. Sometimes it sneaks up on you, silently irritating the delicate lining of your throat. This irritation triggers your body's natural defense mechanism, mucus production. Mucus swoops in like a valiant knight, forming a protective barrier over the irritated tissues. The tricky thing about acid reflux-induced phlegm is that it often lingers long after that spicy meal. You might be left with a persistent cough and a feeling of something stuck in your throat. The constant urge to clear your throat can be frustrating. The more acid that refluxes into your esophagus, the more irritated your throat becomes. Avoiding trigger foods and eating smaller meals can help reduce acid reflux. We live in a world teeming with microscopic particles, from dust mites and pollen to pet dander and mold spores. For some, these particles trigger an all-out war within the body, an allergic reaction. Allergies are a case of mistaken identity. The immune system misinterprets these harmless substances as dangerous invaders and launches a defense. Histamine and other chemicals flood the system, leading to reactions that often target the respiratory system, causing congestion and itching. So what does this have to do with a constantly phlegmy throat? Well, that excess mucus, while annoying, is actually your body's way of fighting back. Remember, mucus is your body's natural defense mechanism. It traps irritants, preventing them from reaching your lungs and causing further damage. When you have an allergic reaction, your body steps up mucus production in an attempt to flush out the allergens. It's like sending out a swarm of sticky traps to capture those pesky invaders and escort them out of your system. But sometimes this valiant effort backfires. The excess mucus, instead of being efficiently cleared, accumulates in your throat, leading to that feeling of constant congestion. You might feel like you have something stuck in your throat, no matter how much you cough or clear your throat. Imagine this. You're constantly sniffling. Your throat feels like it's coated in glue, and you can't seem to shake off that feeling of something stuck in the back of your throat. You might think it's just a stubborn cold, but what if the real culprit is something far less obvious? Enter postnasal drip, a common condition that often flies under the radar but can wreak havoc on your comfort and well-being. Contrary to what the name might suggest, postnasal drip isn't about a literal drip. It's about the overproduction of mucus in your nasal passages. You see, our bodies are constantly producing mucus, a sticky substance that acts as a protective barrier, trapping dust, bacteria, and other irritants. Usually this mucus flows unnoticed down the back of your throat, where it's swallowed without a second thought. Here's where things get tricky. When this delicate system goes awry and your nasal passages start producing excess mucus, you end up with postnasal drip. This overproduction can be triggered by a variety of factors, from allergies and infections to dry air and even certain medications. The result? That annoying feeling of mucus constantly dripping down the back of your throat. This can lead to a persistent cough, a sore throat, and that all too familiar urge to clear your throat every few seconds. But postnasal drip isn't just about physical discomfort. It can also affect your sleep, your voice, and even your breath. The constant irritation can make it difficult to fall asleep and stay asleep, leaving you feeling exhausted even after a full night's rest. The case of the coffee connoisseur. Meet Sarah, a graphic designer with a love for strong coffee and spicy food. She often works late, fueled by caffeine and takeout. Sarah struggled with a phlegmy throat, thinking it was normal. One day she read an article about hidden causes of a phlegmy throat. She realized her coffee and spicy food might be the culprits. Sarah cut back on coffee and spicy food. Within a week, she felt a significant difference. Sarah's experience highlights a crucial point. Simple lifestyle changes can profoundly impact our health. She understood the connection between her diet, acid reflux, and mucus production. Spicy food plus coffee equals increased stomach acid. Increased stomach acid plus relaxed esophageal sphincter equals acid reflux. Acid reflux plus irritated throat equals increased mucus production. Increased mucus production equals that pesky phlegmy feeling. If you suspect that acid reflux is the culprit behind your phlegmy throat, there are several effective strategies you can implement to find relief. Understand the mechanics of acid reflux and identify potential triggers. Adjust your diet by avoiding common trigger foods like spicy foods, citrus, and caffeine. Eat smaller, more frequent meals to prevent your stomach from becoming too full. Allergies can turn our environments into minefields of potential triggers. But fear not, there are ways to minimize the impact of allergens. Identify your specific allergens and minimize exposure. Use dust mite covers on your bedding, keep pets out of your bedroom, and use air purifiers to remove allergens. Medications like antihistamines and nasal sprays can provide relief. Beyond addressing specific medical conditions, there are lifestyle changes to promote respiratory health and reduce a phlegmy throat. These changes might seem simple, but their impact can be profound. Staying hydrated thins mucus, making it easier to clear. Using a humidifier adds moisture to the air, preventing dryness. As we have journeyed through the intricate world of mucus and uncovered the often hidden causes of a constantly phlegmy throat, one crucial message has emerged. You don't have to suffer in silence. That persistent tickle, that nagging urge to clear your throat, that feeling of something always stuck in the back of your throat, these are not merely inconveniences to be tolerated. They are your body's way of signaling that something needs attention. We've debunked common myths, explored the silent saboteurs like acid reflux and allergies, and delved into the often overlooked culprit of postnasal drip. We've learned that while a phlegmy throat can be a symptom of various underlying conditions, simple lifestyle changes and targeted treatments can make a world of difference. The journey to relief begins with understanding. By recognizing the potential triggers, identifying the root cause of your phlegmy throat, and seeking appropriate guidance from healthcare professionals, you can break free from the cycle of discomfort and reclaim your throat's well-being. Imagine waking up without that familiar tickle in your throat, breathing deeply without feeling obstructed, and speaking freely without the urge to clear your throat. From dietary changes and stress management to medical interventions, these solutions are pathways to a healthier you. Addressing the root cause of your phlegmy throat, you're investing in your overall well-being. Embrace the power to influence your health. Take a deep breath. Embrace the possibilities.